Sound, sound check. Yo, yo, yo. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Salute from the strip. Appreciate that. I pull it out every so often. You know what I mean? It's good, man. That's what I'm doing. Can you hear me? Alright, alright.
Saturday man makes decisions for millions of people, conducts business. By the way, how everything is. No.
First Terminator was programmed to strike me in the air. The second was set to strike the Germans.
Part 1 and Part 2 of our No Cap All World
Resistance was able to send
live stream from Saturday and I believe it was Friday. The first one was with one of our other co-hosts, Couple George, and the second one was with 54. So salute to them. If you ain't catch those, definitely check them out. Some real deep, serious topics that don't get discussed nearly enough. Wanted to bring something different and flavorful to the channel, you know, that goes beyond superficial realities that we face on a regular basis. So, both of them are on my YouTube channel if you want to check that out, or you can check it out here on my page. Also, it just came to my mind to make this quick announcement. Suicide Doors is officially done. Suicide Doors is officially done. Editing is finished. All of the kinks, all of the little errors and things of that nature have been worked out. I just uploaded it to the YouTube channel. The premiere is set. If you're not following the channel, go to my bio. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss it when it premieres. It's dropping Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to join, hang out with us, catch a vibe. Amazing artists of them just stopped through here. Miss Peach Spirits, the show pulled up, you know what I'm saying, last minute when I, had some abrupt situations come into play where I needed, help, and she held me down. So I salute her and I appreciate it for that. Foxes and Plum, Luke, Official, Leaders, Cup of Joy, a lot of dope, man, voice actors, artists, poets, man. I can't wait for you all to see it and, be a part of this history that we building over here. Yeah, Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, be on the watch, because we ain't stopping there. You already know if you've been following me for a while. I have 2 more projects that's in the works right now as we speak. When all else fails is next on the to-do list. We about to get that cracking here soon. So you're going to want to stick around for that. That's going to be a different twist to what I normally write, And yeah, we make everything happen over here. I'm definitely in a better space mentally, happier, just all around excited about the things that I'm shooting. So I'll be on the lookout for those other ones. I didn't even name the third one, but some of you are probably familiar with it. Dragon's Eyes Secret is on deck as well, so be on the lookout for that too. But yeah, man, it's no cap on the world. We jumping on here early, you know what I mean? Had to try to get on them before, the week continue to spin out of control as much as possible. And yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm ready to get into the schedule. You already familiar with this chat, but not so by 628 been following and rocking this brother for over 20 years plus, so what he says and what I say is not going to be filtered. It's not going to be that being said, if you're looking for something to be sugar coated or covered, it's going to be the place. In the meantime, while we get things situated over here, I did get some new equipment. Some of you probably already seen it. Got a little audio situation. I'm going to get that fixed and figured out here. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get my StreamYard Labs connected to my YouTube and to the PC and to the box right here, my mic. So everything is more crystal clean. We want to have background soon, so look out for that. A lot of stuff. Those kind of things that first. And thank you to everybody for the patience and the kind words and the thoughts, everything in between. I definitely hey,
What's going on today, brother?
what's up?
What's up with you, man?
Can't call it. Oh, up here, man.
Just trying to cover it, man,
I hear you. I hear you. What's good with it?
I mean, it's just a crazy world we live in. Once again, we've been covering some real passionate topics. I'm gonna call it passionate. It's been real passionate. The three lives we did has been passionate, man. these topics been meaningful, passionate, and man, we really be unfolding stuff while we talk about these type of situations. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. I believe it was what Rocky Mountain, North Carolina. We had a substitute teacher who got in an altercation with a student over a cell phone, y'all, over a damn phone, and I believe the video went viral. This people got a lot of opinions about that. Once again, social media is undefeated. I'm gonna say that social media is undefeated. It's always technology, always got to be, involved. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and give your take on the matter. I mean, it was serious, but it's just crazy how stuff unfold just because of a phone. You know what I'm saying? So this generation right here, they lacking a lot of old morals and respect. It's just a lack of respect with this new era, and they need to be, brung down a couple pegs, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so I watched the video. I actually watched several of different situations. This one in particular had a follow-up with a screenshot of the regulation school policy, surrounding the circumstances of children with phones and the facilities on 2 hours. And teacher, she was in the right in regards to complicate the device. I don't know exactly what circumstances were leading up to the altercation, but just in general, you're going to have to deal with children with these phones, regardless if they inside the building or not. It's almost like everybody got their face, and we spoke about this, everybody got their face phone any day, damn near 24 hours a day. But shit, kids don't even know what it's like without a phone. What would life be without a phone? Looking at that situation, I don't know exactly who. I'll say both of them are wrong. The teacher, she could have found another way to, deal with discipline the young lady without it coming to blows.
And how
As
and
a
how
professional,
and how's that? How's that? I want
well,
to ask you that. How's that? If you watch the video, you tell me how's that. What's the other way? How could she handle that differently?
well, easy. As a professional, you should already. First of all, you should already know the protocol.
And she was
Hey,
practicing. She was practicing protocol at the time.
so she could have simply, got security to come and detain her. She could have got on the radio or on the intercom and spoken to someone in the office and have them to come, take care of the matter. Just my initial thought. If now I think that the problem that a lot of people are having is the fact that she wailed on her like she did.
Mm-hmm.
And from the video, the girl swung on her first. So
Who touched who first? Let's put that out there. Who
from
touched who first?
what I saw, the student touched her first.
Okay.
And now unless I missed something, then
It was something slight, but yeah, for the most part, the student did take the first shot.
okay. So what do you do? You're a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what comes with assaulting a child of any form. Do you defend yourself? When do we draw the line between protocol and defending yourself? When does it get too extreme to where you have to say, all right, I'm not going to let this happen to me. I got to defend, I got to do something to prevent bodily harm coming versus I have to maintain some sense of moral ground here and make sure that she's dealt with in a way that the other students don't look at this and take it in a negative connotation. Because everybody
Mm-hmm.
is now recording on their cell phone.
And
They looking at
and that,
her like,
and that's what happened. The fight was recorded by her fellow classmates that was in there. They recorded the situation. That's how that video got viral, bro. And see that's the thing with the new generation. We didn't have that. To me, the closest thing from our era to rival what happened right there is those damn pages. That was it. Back in the day, everybody wanted to have a pager. Everybody wanted to be a beeper. Everybody wanted to get that little notification on the side of their hip. Check it out. It was the cool thing to do. But just like that damn phone, that beeper got taken too. So that's what these millennials need to understand, man. Those pages got snatched in class too. You cannot have a phone out in instructional time of the day. You cannot do that. The teacher is teaching her classroom. It is her duty to instruct and make sure that the discipline is going on in that classroom. Now everybody didn't have the same. Give me a second.
that's a touchy subject, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people are torn between what was right and what was wrong about that. So I mean, really, it could be either way. I don't know how you feel about it. I know
How you doing?
you.
How you doing, sir?
All right.
You got any opinions or any thoughts on this topic we discussing right now, or you just
First of all, I want to say, what's up, ugly boy? Secondly, I want to say, secondly, I just want to say, y'all talking about the teacher fighting the student.
yeah.
All right. well, my opinion on it, since I am in the educational field, is that is that the both parties were in the wrong. I think that parents should have more. I won't say control over their children, but need to instill respect into their children, because today, in today's society with children, they're very disrespectful. Um, and I deal with it every single day, like from the younger kids to the older kids. Like teaching nowadays is very hard, just to be a teacher, to teach these children. But to have a student that's reliant on their phone to be like their outlet or whatever the case may be, first of all, you're not supposed to have your phone during class. So that's why the teacher took the phone in the first place. How are you going to learn anything if you're on social media and stuff like that? Like, you're not going to learn anything. And with how test scores and stuff like that is today, like, not to shame the kids, but they're, and not to say this, but they're dumb as fuck. Not to say it so blunt like that, but put the phones down and pay attention to what the teacher's saying, even if it is a substitute, like how that teacher was, even if it is a substitute, you know what I'm saying? Because if we have to rely on the kids today, is like, it's slim to none, basically. So education should always come first. And I might get criticized for some of the stuff that I'm saying, but it is what it is, because like I said, these kids are disrespectful, and it does take a lot for teachers to
Get their attention.
Not only get their attention, but for them to humble themselves in situations like that, because it's very tough. Especially when they go into that level to where they're in your personal space and stuff like that.
Right.
And you never know what the teacher's going through. Like, we get the kids' standpoint, like they probably going through something mentally as well, or whatever's going on at home, but the teacher can also be going through something mentally and stuff that's going on at home. And you just have to be aware of those things. A student probably won't be as aware unless they're like always in their parents' face and know what triggers their parents and stuff like that, so they would know what's going on with the adult in the room. But it's not always easy to see what the child is going through, especially if they come across a certain type of way majority of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can have those small conversations with the student. Hey, how you doing? What's going on at home? If you want to be that type of person. Hey, how you doing? What's going on at home? Do you want to talk? This, that, and the third. And if they don't feel like talking, but they're given that attitude, is like, okay, I'm giving you passes, but how many passes am I going to give you?
Right.
And teachers, you have to not only be that counselor for them, but you have to actually tell other staff members, hey, I see it's a problem, or something's going on with this student. Hey, can the actual counselor come in and talk and have a conversation with the student? Or you go to the principal or whoever your manager is, you know what I'm saying? And it's just levels to everything. And like I said, both parties were in the wrong. But that's basically what we deal with on a daily basis, you know. It's a lot of teachers right now that don't want to be a teacher anymore, and they've been teaching longer than I've been in the educational system. Like, it's teachers that's been there for 15 years, 20 years. They come across that one student that's being very disrespectful, and is like, do I want to continue working in education or not, because of how disrespectful the child is? It's like everybody has to take accountability for what's going on, not just the teachers because they're there. Like, we're there as an extension of what's going on at home.
Exactly.
And if the parent is not communicating with the teachers, because some parents don't want to communicate at all, it's like, well, how can I approach the student? What can I do? You know, and it's very difficult to
it can get frustrating at times.
very frustrating. Very frustrating.
The parents definitely got to work well with the teachers in order to get the best results out of that kid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And from my experience, like when it comes to like parent teacher conferences, like parents don't show up. They don't show up. Like, so it's like the parents have to get more involved in their child. You know what I'm saying? It has to be a community type of thing.
It takes a village.
It takes a village, absolutely. Yeah, it definitely takes a village to raise a child. And if the parents aren't willing and it's just on the teachers can do but so much. So it's like,
right.
I'm at a standstill now.
They got other kids in that room that they're responsible for that they teaching as well. That's what parents got to understand. They can only do so much for that particular child that's being disrespectful in the classroom, being disruptive. You know what I'm saying? Distracting the other kids because they come here to learn like you're supposed to be learning. So absolutely. I mean, it's a team effort, man. That situation, the lady was clearly after she took the girl's phone, she called herself trying to do the protocol and called down to the office because the kid was being mad, disrespectful, calling the lady out her name and yelling, "Give me my phone" and all that. But if you watch the video, you can see when she reached for the phone to call down in the office so somebody could come get the girl out of there. The girl stepped into her space right behind her, walked up in
her personal space.
Yeah. So everybody knows what that means. That means you want to do something to me. So that's before any of the blows was thrown. When you walk up on somebody, that's what it means. It means you about to do something to me. So in that point, the teacher was trying to defend herself. She wasn't necessarily trying to hit the girl, but she was trying to make sure the girl didn't hit her. So at that point, she tried to snatch the phone. The teacher snatched it back and told her, "Don't touch me." Now, somebody said that she could have handled it and walked down to the office to get administration. Now, I thought about that. How you gonna walk past this girl if she stepped into your space? So you got to look at it like that. So even if the girl didn't swing first, she would have still had to walk around the girl, slightly touching it. That could have escalated the same outcome. To get the phone to the office. You see what I'm saying?
Also, you will be leaving a classroom full of kids by themselves. You can't do that.
Exactly. So, and I also look at it. She's in trouble. She's the substitute is facing charges, but what you got to understand with these systems is that it should be a team effort. Nobody had her back, but when it come down to a situation like that, the substitute teacher is the only one that's going to take the fall. It should be accountability with the whole school. The whole administration should be punished for that. Because if they would have came up there and did their job, that situation ain't have that outcome like that.
Right.
But back to them phones is a huge distraction.
It is a very distraction. It's kid like today. It was towards the end of the day, but because they get their phones back at the end of the day before they leave out. But it's kids doing TikToks in the middle of dismissal. Like what's going on? Like TikTok, you was ramped up to do TikTok at the end of the day, but you didn't do any work all day. Like
exactly.
Make it make sense.
Distraction.
And
And
then
all
these
and then that phone also, what I noticed with the phones, when the kids had a phone, they don't understand. This generation don't get it. Back in the day, when we got something like that and we brought it to school, whatever we got, it was a privilege. They don't understand that the phone is a privilege. These kids feel entitled, like they supposed to have it because the phones is out. You
right.
don't have to have the phone. We only giving it to you because we rewarding you. It's a privilege to have the phone. You don't supposed to
But
have it. You don't have to
that,
have the phone.
but
The kids
I
don't
don't think
put
I
that
don't
in their brain.
I don't, I don't think it's a privilege anymore. I just think they just spoiled as hell.
It's entitled. They feel entitled. The
You
entitlement kick in their head like they supposed to have it. And then if you look at the video, the girl feel like because she said my phone, my phone. You're not paying the bill on that phone. Your phone, your phone. You can go get your mother to come
Right.
get it. You ain't getting this phone because you're not paying for it.
well,
In her mind,
hold up.
in her mind, she felt like it's hers. She felt equal to that teacher. If you
Yeah,
look
you
at it closely, she felt equal to her.
all right, but all right, you said all that, but why do she feel like that?
Entitlement
It
Who?
goes back to the parent.
and the
That's what I'm saying. Who?
entitlement
That's
it
that's
does go back to the parents. The parents
It don't.
did not take that phone. They not raising her like it's a privilege. She feel entitled. She always had a phone. And like she just said, the kids is making TikTok videos on dismissal. Come on. On your lunchtime or something, responsible, you had a phone. That's what I'm saying. And that's why these situations is going to continue to happen. I don't think this is going to be the first time, the last time this happens. I think something like this is going to continue to happen until we put some rules in.
the funny thing about everything that you're saying is let's stop pretending like this is new. This shit has been going on for decades. This shit been going on since we've been a kid. So it's only just got worse. That's it. Now I want to say this too, because like I said, I watched another video. It was the complete opposite of this. The fucking teacher, the teacher set her phone up. She hid it in the classroom, and she was organizing fights in her classroom with the students. And then in the video, she's basically telling one student, "Look, you go stand by the door and make sure don't nobody come in." And she's setting up, kids to fight in the classroom. So I don't know, man. The shit is wild.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that. It's just all wrong all across the board. Yeah, should definitely not be doing that with the kids. Yeah, I don't have no comment on that. Just that.
I mean, so I mean, it's like on one hand, you got students that's attacking teachers. Teachers got to try to handle it in a way that's going to protect them and protect the students and the school itself. Then you got the adults that's actually attacking the students, setting up fights and molesting and doing all this different. It's just I don't know, man. The whole system is.
When did that incident happen?
Maybe about 7 days ago. Yeah.
I didn't really much.
But what I was looking at when I was assessing, because I watched that video back and back and back, and what I'm noticing is that it's not just with that video, it's with this whole earth, is that if you look at it closely, that phone, what's in that phone got more of an influence on our kids than the parents do. So if you can't, and as far as the teachers, if you can't reach these kids, you ain't gonna be able to teach them. That's why they so disruptive in the classroom, because you can't relate. Some of these teachers, they don't know how to relate to the kids. Not all, but some of them. And some of them let them do what they want, let them do whatever they want to do, and then get upset if they get disrespected in these classrooms. You gotta, I mean, what I'm noticing is that you an extension of their parent for those hours that you the teacher with them kids. You the extension. And I know all of them don't come from a great, household or whatever, but you gotta, once again, you gotta be a good person in those situations. It's not just a teacher, like I said, not just doing your job. It's not just about being a teacher. How could you reach these kids? What could you relate to them with? Because if you want somebody to listen to you, but you want respect, you want somebody to listen to you, but you can't relate to nothing that they going through.
It's almost like
they can't relate because they from a different generation.
you know how a person can have a baby father or baby mother, and they raise the child different. So you and the child's father or mother are constantly fighting because they're letting them get away with stuff, and you're more stern. That's kind of how I think about it with teachers and parents. There's parents who won't do what they're supposed to do, then the teacher has to come in and play stepdaddy or stepmom.
Right.
Is there a certain line that you can and can't cross? Do you get to fully do what a biological parent can do as a teacher?
No, it's
So
level and limitations. It's always limitations to what you can do. You can't be the authoritarian person because that feels like you're being too aggressive towards the child, which is not good. And it's really not much you can do. You could just support them. That's basically all you can do is support them and teach. Support and teach. But something you can't support with everything because you don't. It's still limitations to that.
And do you think these kids know there's limitations with the teachers? Is that a reason for the disrespect that the students give teachers? They are aware of what teachers can't do, that the parents can go a little further with it. Teachers can't do that.
Absolutely.
So they use that to their advantage. It's just like
they would let you know.
It's just like what you said with mom and dad. If whatever mom won't let me do, I'll ask dad, or vice versa. Dad, I'll ask mom on dad and get what I want that way.
The crazy thing is they do the same thing with teachers. If they're cool with a certain teacher, if a teacher is one of those teachers that's cool, oh, you on TikTok? Oh, I liked your video on TikTok. Or if they build that type of connection, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go to you versus going to this person because I know this person gonna say no to me or whatever the case may be, and I'm gonna go ask you because I know you're a little bit more lenient because it's me and I know I can play you like a fiddle. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what it be.
It's definitely like that.
Kids understand that.
Even it's crazy because it's not just kids that are like of age that's like 10, 11, 12. It's 8-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 6-year-olds. They know they can play that That's
instant.
fine.
Yeah.
So what's the deal?
Yeah, definitely limitations to it.
Who sent you?
Everything is limited.
35 years from now, you rebroke up with me to protect the youth.
I say this and I say it again. The lack of accountability is at an all-time high. Nobody is being held accountable. Parents are being held accountable for being parents. Therefore, the kids aren't being held accountable. Teachers aren't being held accountable. People in their organization, they got so comfortable in their positions that they kind of just look over or glance over things that's going on. And to be honest, there could be a history of things going on with that particular student, just like any others that have been forced or disciplined in the wrong way. And they just now paying attention to it, and it's always come to a place where it has become some type of aggressive behavior. And how do you deal with, if this is you, how do you deal with student and teacher after what you just told? How do you discipline her? How do you come to?
It's like a little preschooler. If you take their favorite toy, that's how the phone is. It's like that brand new shiny toy, and they just pop up and pout all over the room. That's what the phone represents to them teenagers. You take that out of their power, they can't think. It got what I'm saying is that's the problem right there. It got that much of a hold on their minds that the teacher can't reach without it being an altercation. Some of the parents have a problem with getting them to do what they wanted to. It got that much of a stronghold on the youth.
Mm-hmm.
And what I tell mine is, if you can't take a break off that device, you can't handle it. You're not responsible enough to have a device. If you can't take care of your responsibilities, why do you have the device?
Right.
So,
as far as like discipline, are you, as far as the child goes, are you talking about discipline from the school or discipline from the parent?
Well, ultimately, we have a problem. It's quite apparent that this isn't a one-time situation, and it's not going to be the last.
it's not.
Clearly, we're failing somewhere in our school system where this stuff continues to resurface over and over again. So, how do we address it? How do we come to the staff? How do we come to the people that are in position to set boundaries and enforce all of these things to get them to finally just say, all right, we got to start doing this. We have to start coming down on kids. We have to start coming down on our staff. Even if we have to hold our own self accountable, how do we go about bringing solutions to these continuing problems? Because we can talk about it all the time, all day, how one person, but like, what does that do other than it gets people to talk about it? But
I mean, you're gonna have to ban the phones at some point. This can't continue to keep happening to teachers for trying to teach. They just trying to do their job at the end of the day. She's a substitute. We all know the history of substitutes. If a substitute take over for a teacher, her class, or whoever class tend to give a substitute a hard time. That's the reputation of the substitute. We all know that. So yeah, we gotta ban the phones. I'll say ban the phones. These kids is not responsible enough. it's a spirit in the phones too. The way she was talking to that teacher, it was like, I'm the adult, you the child. It was like the roles was reversed because of the phone situation. Give me my phone. I mean, you went at an adult like that, tried to snatch it out of her hand. Like, look at that. Look how it made the girl act. She was a child. She shouldn't. I mean, that shouldn't have happened.
Right.
Yeah, it's the spirit. It's the spirit with that.
I had a fifth grade teacher. Her name was Miss Shields, and she was the type of teacher that she got permission from the parents to whoop your ass. She got permission to do it. So one day, right, I'm in class. One of the kids, he was in there talking back to her, just like the girl was. So Miss Shields, she was like, all right, okay. So after recess, his mom just so happened to pull up to the classroom. Let me tell you, she went to his body. She almost knocked the soul out of his ass. I mean, Miss Shields was just like, she just watched. But my point was, the teachers and the parents had some sort of understanding.
Connection. They had a connection.
Yeah.
That's what's missing too. That's what's missing too. These teachers are not connecting with all the parents, and it's a disconnect. Not just with the parents. Some teachers, it be some teachers that don't connect well with the parents either. So, I mean, we gotta bring that back together because they gotta go home to the parents every day. They gotta come to school with the teachers every day. It's back and forth. So it gotta be some type of connect to make everything work.
You gotta realize though that the generation of parents now are in their 20s. And I mean, I get it because some of the teachers are now in their 20s and stuff like that, but it's like some of them aren't parents. So it's like, how do you connect or try to connect with the younger generation of parents when they're mostly about this and this versus good solutions of, hey, how can I help my child advance in school? It's like, oh, you sent the message telling me about my child talking in class. Like, let them talk. Like, it ain't bothering nobody, but they're disrupting the class. Okay, and they talk. They're talkers. So what do you want me to do about it? It's been a parent, right? That said, we told the parent how their child is going, very disruptive, this, that, and the third. They was like, well, that's not my problem. You're with them, so that's your problem. How do you deal with the parent that automatically goes to that? We done said good things that the child did as far as like doing classwork and grades and stuff like that, but behavior wise, oh, it's not my problem. That's your problem. You deal with it. How like.
And see, with responses like that, that explains why the girl and the teacher got into it. That was instilled in that girl from when she was in elementary. Then when she get to the next level, she still got that spirit in her because her parents instilled that in her. Where I don't have to really listen to authority, or like you just articulated, it's y'all problem. It's not my problem. Y'all deal with it. So. Then you get in the position with a substitute. She's a mother of she said 4. She has kids, and that's another thing. As a parent, you're not gonna let your kids buck up at you and take you down.
Mm-hmm.
It's not happening. And I'm a father too. It's not gonna happen. Neither one. It's not gonna happen. So what is she supposed to do? She got kids. Her kids don't do her like that.
Right.
So she can't. She's not going to sit there and let a young girl swing on her over a phone, over something that you was wrong on. Really? Is that serious? So that's what I'm saying. The parents definitely, first of all, they got to get involved. They got to be front line with these kids, because your kids shouldn't have never, not only disrespected a teacher, they should know how to not disrespecting a damn adult. Period. That's on the parent all the way. 100. They gotta wear. They gotta wear that.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta wear that. 10 toes on the parents. That's on their helmet. They supposed to have a kid already ready to go into that situation. If you got to take the phone, take the phone. As a parent, you supposed to already know if your kid is responsible enough to keep the phone in during class and not being disruptive to the learning session.
Mm-hmm.
You supposed to know that before your kid walk out the door in the morning. Now, I understand what you said about the kids, about the parents being real young and they're not all the way mature enough to support their kids' education. But them are young kids getting bigger. This kid was a bigger kid. So my thing is, how long did her parents take to grow up? Because this kid was a teenager that did this.
Right.
Yeah. So at some point, they got the parents got to take a lot of accountability, because you got to have your kids prepared to go into these learning environments, because it's not all on the teachers. It should never be all on the teachers. They got more kids to be responsible for. It's not fair.
Right.
Me in particular, all schools is not the same, but in a situation like that, my opinion is all hands on deck as a staff. It's not just the teacher. I look at administration. I look at custodians. Everybody got to get involved when a situation like that happens. That's just how my opinion is. I don't think that should just fall directly on a substitute teacher. If you in the building and you see something like that getting crazy, you gotta intervene to prevent serious things like that from happening. But every school ain't gonna do that. In that position, the substitute even felt like it was all on her. She felt alone. She ain't had no support right there. So I think we need to improve that in the schools.
I mean, that's why it should be at least 2 teachers per classroom, especially it seemed like she was dealing with more than 20 kids probably. So it should be 2 teachers per classroom, and it should be training to deal with emotional students. Not all schools give you the proper training or certifications to deal with stuff. Yes, it's supposed to be a counselor, but consider in the school system, all teachers are counselors, all staff are counselors. So it should be treated as such. And you have to have training for that. They don't give you the proper training to deal with a student that's going through something that maybe that student was going through mentally, to be so possessive over something that's just material. So yeah.
Whatever the outcome is with it, I hope they do more than just say, hey, we suspended her for X amount of time without pay, or you want to disclose what the student is going to get. Ultimately, at the end of the day, they know what's going on. We know what's going on, and it has to be acknowledged.
Mm-hmm.
Like, see it every day. How is it not being something done about the issue between the phone thing and the depression and suicide and all of the sick stuff that goes on within the building? They either they need to evaluate their staff bring in some people, you know, that want to actually do their job, or they got to tighten up.
You got to think it's a shortage right now for education, so they taking in whoever they can get. So that'll be training off. But it's people that probably never been in the educational field ever in their life, and they apply for the job and they go ahead and take on that job. They don't necessarily know what they're coming into. They're just thinking, oh, I'm about to be a substitute teacher, or I'm about to be an assistant to this, or whatever the case may be. And they don't know. They're going back for when they were in school, depending on how long ago that was, and thinking, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do that. Like you can't think that way. And I mean, no teacher is ever going to be prepared for the children because they come from all different backgrounds. They all have something different going on with them. You can't necessarily justify how to properly address something like this because it could be anything. So, I mean, school can take accountability, so can the teachers and other staff. But again, it always stem back from what's going on at home, the household. It's always going to go back to the household. You could put but so much on the teacher. Yeah, the teacher's with them for about a good 8 hours, but what about the rest of those hours? They're at home the rest of those hours. They have positive people that's in their lives. It could be a PE teacher. It could be their favorite math teacher or their favorite ELA teacher, science teacher, whatever. They have positive people, but they choose. It's a choice to disrespect someone else. So it can't necessarily just be on the teacher. It's students that come in and be like, oh, I don't like this person just because of the way they look. Oh, I don't like their shoes. I don't like this person. So I'm going to disrespect this person today. Like, it could be anything. So it's not just the teachers. It can't be put all on the teachers. The teachers are there to teach. And then you have to think that it's 26 kids, 27 kids per classroom.
And all in personality, you got to read.
Yes, absolutely. And then you have to deal with, since classrooms are integrated with special education, you not only have to deal with generalized kids, but you also have to deal with the kids that need those special requirements in the classroom. Mm-hmm. So if it's this student, like the one that was in the video acting out, it could be a special education student that's maybe it's too loud in the classroom. Now you have to go try to minimize what's going on over there with that student. Like it's too much going on, and it could be very frustrating at the same time. So, like I said, it's at home. It has to be at home. It has to be from home.
That's where they learn all the bad habits.
You cannot pin stuff on teachers. They are there for a limited amount of time, and they have to deal with 27 to 30 personalities in one space. That is very difficult. And I'm not even gonna hold you, like, it was true story. The week before spring break, which was about a week ago, it was on a Thursday. I'm a dedicated aide. I was in the classroom by myself because the ELA teacher and the special education teacher was not there. They wasn't there that day. So I'm not a teacher. I'm a dedicated aide, meaning I'm a one-on-one for someone that has special needs. I became the teacher that day. It was very frustrating because I'm dealing with disrespect that I don't normally deal with just because these teachers aren't there.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not even going to hold you. I left. During dismissal, the height of dismissal, I left. Because mentally, the disrespect that I was getting from students that I've never gotten disrespect from, it
Put you in a different headspace.
yes, absolutely. So I was like, yo, I have to go. Like I mentally
I'm
I
checking
need
out.
to go.
Yeah,
I can't deal with that
right.
because of what I'm going on personally. And
Separate from
have to
this.
deal
Yeah.
with the disrespect. I cannot do that. That was too much, very overwhelming, to the point where I had to take off the next day just to get my headspace together.
We talk about it all the time. Mental health is like number one, ain't it? We
Absolutely.
talk about that. If you're not in the right headspace, your performance is going to suck at what you're trying to do. It's going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
You can't perform at a high level with mental health is not. It's got to be first priority to do that.
Yeah.
That's the truth, and I can vouch for that.
Yeah, so it just can't be all on teachers.
Yeah.
Teachers are people before being a teacher.
There you go. There you go. That's what I was saying. The person itself is you got to put self over title in them situations dealing with these kids. I think you can get the better result out of them if people just don't hold rank of what they do or their job title over the person that they are, because I think the person make the title, not the title don't make the person.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has to be the parent. And I don't want no excuses of, oh, I'm a single parent, this, that, and the third. Your parent was probably a single parent, and you probably didn't act up that way when you were in school, so that can't be an excuse. You knew how to respect adults. You probably disrespectful to a certain extent, but not know the level that it is now. Because they talk about your mama, your grandmama, like they will take you to that point where it's like, oh, you about to put your hands on me? Oh, you bucking at me? Oh, you rolling your eyes at me? Like, you doing too much now. Calm down. Go to the coach's office. Yada yada yada. Like, it's stuff that we can do. Is say, hey, I think you need to go to the coach's office to cool down, or go in the little timeout, calm down corner, write down why you're upset, this, that, and third. But it's like, what if that don't work? What's the next step? Culture. If the culture don't work, what's the next step? Parent. If parent don't work, what's the next step?
So you out of answers, huh?
Basically, you're out of answers. If you're sending a student to the coach's office every single day for the same exact behavior, you're contacting the parent almost every single day for the same behavior, and the parent don't give two shits. What do you do now?
Yeah.
There's nothing else you can do
That's
to try
the end of the road, ain't it?
with your class. Like,
They don't pay teachers enough.
they don't. And even people at certain positions that need to be paid more because they deal with a non-average individual, they need to get paid more than the regular teachers. Well, that's how I feel. They need to get paid more than the regular teachers, or as much as the regular teachers, because they deal with way more from a handful of individuals or that one individual just because.
Different situations on the daily.
Yeah.
Got to be flexible.
But all this only proves that their system is flawed. I mean, everything is flawed to a certain degree, but when you have so many consistent issues happening over and over and over again, you gotta go back to the drawing board and kind of try to figure out what's not working or what's going to work. And then you gotta update your code or whatever it is. You gotta change things around. I feel for the for certain teachers and certain aides and things of that nature. I know all of them aren't there to just get a paycheck,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
then
we talked about that.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But you got some. Just like I told you about that teacher that was setting up fights, and I'll send you the video. He's
Mm-hmm.
setting up students to fight in her classroom. She recording them and all that. Like,
Yeah. My thing is look at the culture of people that's mostly affected by this type of behavior. It's mostly people with the same skin color as us. I mean,
Exactly.
you hear white students fighting and stuff like that, but not to the same magnitude as it is for us black and brown cultures.
Yeah.
So
We more of a struggle type of situation. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
We on the majority end.
yeah, because I'm pretty sure the white schools they some may allow their kids to have phones because they know it's not necessarily going to be too much of a problem because of an authority type issue because of how they're raised. And I don't mean to say it like that, but because of how they're raised, the different type of environment they're in. As
No,
far as
we don't hold back on here. I want you to say it.
as far as
Say it.
us, we on a deep end, like we in low income families.
There you go. There you
We
go.
struggle with everybody in this community struggles with mental health because we're traumatized by the stuff that happened from generations and generations in our family or centuries. It could be all still stemming from slavery time. Like you never know. And it's sad to for that to always be like
The excuse.
one of the excuses is
Mm-hmm.
because where we're from, this, that, and the third, because there's some kids or some parents that are doing their best. They're great scholars in school, and the parents are very involved in their child's education. Like, but it's like how it's like it's a handful in one classroom, though. It should be the majority that want to be involved in their child's education because education is important. Some of those parents didn't have the best education because of they had people in their classroom that were doing the same exact thing. So it's like, why would you not want the best for your child?
Right. And that's part of our recovery. We still recovering from all of that.
Yeah,
how much
go ahead.
Go ahead.
how much is covering these needs? Though? How long can you blame?
I mean, every day we trying to. I mean, not all of us, but there's some of us out here, like how she was just talking about. We trying to break generational curses. If you look back in just the 20th century, we took a lot. We've been through a whole lot to get up to this point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you gotta really articulate to these young kids on how the world was before they was even here. I don't think they understand. I think the world today that it is today, they think this is how it was all the time. It wasn't. We didn't have phones growing up. We didn't have a phone to take all our interests. We had many interests, but guess what? All of those interests that we had, it's all on a button now. They don't have to do none of that. They don't have to be active. Kids don't go outside no more. They a lot of them don't ride a bike no more. They don't play neighborhood tag, how I go see. All of that's gone because of a phone. And that's why you see the seriousness of the topic that we having, because that was the cause of it. that girl was hypnotized by an electronic, not just a phone. I think she would have acted like that off a tablet too. Any electronic device, they hypnotize. It got a strong hold on the youth, man. People need to pay attention to that, especially the parents. And that's why, going back to that situation, it's not the teacher's responsibility to discipline your child in the way you should. They're there to teach. The kids should already have in their brain that they should have had this device out while she's talking with the class. Supposed to be an understanding. And if she got classroom rules, you got to respect her rules, or you will be disciplined. It's just that simple. We got our hats took it in high school. If you can remember that, we came in there with it. He told us don't wear your hat in the building, man. Had your hat on in the building, let me get the hat. He told you though, didn't he? Yeah. And these kids get their devices back at the end of the day. Try not get your hat back until the end of the year. You see what I'm saying? They don't understand. You think they can go the rest of the school year while that one teacher hold that phone? They'd blow up. Their head will blow up in there. Because they got to have it. It's like drugs. That phone is like drugs. Period. And they need to have a rehab on phones. They need a rehabilitation on social media.
That ain't gonna happen.
I don't trust it. He's my friend, all right?
Look.
It's like to try to kill one of these things. And if something goes wrong, this could be our last chance.
Even though I don't know if much change over the next couple of years, so they might implement some things. Hopefully, does improve.
Hopefully.
But at least the conversation is being had. I appreciate both of y'all pulling up.
For sure.
You shared some light, both shared some light, especially, you coming from, and the funny thing is we all, worked in the school system at some point, but your situation is a little more intimate versus ours, so I absolutely appreciate you for sharing your thoughts on, the whole thing. Hopefully,
and your experiences, we appreciate that.
Yeah, hopefully we can all find our faith, especially you. Yeah, man, y'all know how we do on here, man.
Thank you.
There's no cap all world. Introduce yourself to the people, just in case they want to follow. To get as far away from the city as possible.
Who, me?
Yeah, you can go first.
On here, I am Dominique. I am an educator. I am a coach. I'm an artist. And I'm that person. That's me. Artist. I have art right here in the background, just so you know.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Thank you.
On you, my brother.
Oh, I'm Six Rings. I come on here and share star power with my man up top right there, and we try to shine light on these situations. You know what I'm saying, and try to come up with the best solution going forward, because this particular topic is gonna, I'm afraid it is gonna reoccur, because until it's a solving point, we gotta come up with some solution to protect both parties, the student and the teacher. It's a system, and we gotta keep it together, people.
Real said. Real said. And y'all already know who I am. Deep Mental, Last of the Writers Creed, Free Films, 1984. Follow me on all platforms, YouTube, IG, Twitter, TikTok. I'm everywhere. Suicide Doors, Saturday, 7 p.m. YouTube, pull up if you can. Make a movie. Shout out to all of my co-hosts. I hope pull up again one day. Get up on here and talk about some real shit. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, there's no cap all world signing out. Y'all have a blessed one.
Same here. Peace out. Peace.
All right, lovely.
Right.
Like that.
Kids understand that.
Even it